Hi folks, Brady Wolf here. Today I'm going to teach you how to hang a heavy picture. You want to try to do it in a stud. Depending on your layout, you might not be able to, so there are other options available. There's hardware like this. This is a zippets and screws. That's one method to use when hanging into drywall. You just screw that zippet into the wall, and then you use that screw to screw in that hole. There are other options out there like wall dogs and other stuff like that. Just go to your local hardware store and they can point you out to something that is probably best for your needs. But for today's purpose, with our layout here, it was planned ahead. It's actually going to hit a stud. So for purposes of today, we are going to be using just a simple nail. There's several ways to find a stud. Number one, you can use a stud finder. Those are actually pretty expensive. A lot of times they end up kind of crapping out and don't work all the best. So I wouldn't recommend getting one of those. The second method would be to just kind of knock on your wall and listen for that sweet spot of the stud. That works, but it's not always the easiest. It can be kind of confusing. Third option, what I think is the best, is a lot of your walls are always going to have an electrical outlet on them. And when they build a house, they put electrical next to the stud. That's how they attach the outlet. So what you need to do is just take your outlet cover off, which we've already done. Just put that on the ground. Now, most likely your stud is going to be to the left of your outlet. That's not always the case. Sometimes it's to the right. But there's two ways to find out. You'll just need a screwdriver or pry bar or anything like that. What you want to do is stick that in between the blue plastic and your drywall, and then pry in towards the middle. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the stud is there. So that's one way. The second way is when they string that electrical wire in through the wall, they staple it to the stud. So as you can see here, it's on the left side, so that means the stud is to the left of the outlet. If that stud were to be on the right, it would come through the right. So we know that stud is there to the left of the outlet. So since we have this wall right here, just take your tape measure, measure over from the corner to your outlet. Now remember, a stud is actually 3.5 by 1.5 inches. So anywhere within 1.5 inches, best to hit center. Center of that stud would be about 30 inches. So we come up here to our desired height to match our other picture. We measure over 30, and that's where that nail is. Now we're only using one nail with this picture because it has a wire back. You can see that wire back right there. Some other pictures have different mounting. They'll have like little tooth and like little grooves. For that, if you can hit two studs, that's best. If not, you can hit one stud and use a zippet on the other. But the more studs, the better. So this nail here is actually already in the stud. You will be able to tell if you're hitting stud or not. That nail will just, you'll have to use a lot of force when you go into that stud. If you miss it, you're just going through drywall, you'll probably hit it once, and then it'll just automatically go straight through. So now that we have our nail in the wall, let's go ahead and hang this picture here. Okay. So we got the picture hung. Now for the most important part, making sure that that picture is level. Say for instance you left your level downstairs in the basement. Just use your tape measure. So in the right corner here, we're at 24 3/4. In the left corner, we're at 26. So we need to make an adjustment here. Okay, that looks about right. Double check it. Again, you might have to fiddle with it a lot, so you might have to do this a couple times. Okay. And we are level right there according to the tape measure. And for all you people with iPhones out there, if you go to your Compass app, which comes with your phone, after you calibrate it, just swipe to the left and you'll get a level, and you just toss that baby up there and it shows we're at 0 and it's green. So there you go. You have a lovely picture. Now you know how to hang a heavy picture. Thanks.